Hi fashion lover, welcome back to another tutorial, and today we are sewing this dress we made the last time. And first of all, we're going to be turning out our lining with this fabric. If you notice, I turn it by 2 inches from the down from the hem line, and then I pull it up and then stitch the two sides. Now we're going to turn it out to the right side, and after turning it out, we're just going to iron. So now this is what we have, and now we're going to iron. Note that every process of stitching you need to iron so that it will make your job easier and make it come out neat at the end of the day. So this is what we have after ironing. You can see how smooth it's coming out already. Just go ahead and iron every pieces. So now after iron, we're just going to keep this aside and then move to the upper part of this dress we're working with. So now this is the back part, and then the main fabric and the lining. So now we're just going to remove this. So we're just going to pick up one of the back piece, and I'm just chucking it in order not to get it mixed from the front and the back. So pick up one piece just like this and then place it on each other. So now for the yoke, we are joining the yoke while turning the back. This is the back yoke and this is the front yoke. And first of all, for the yoke, we are just going to turn it with a bias tape. You're just going to sew it down first like this, and then you turn it inward. So this bias is facing the front. You first of all sew it on the front and then turn it back inward and sew it down. So we're going to sew the neckline and the two sides, which is the going to the armhole. Same thing for the back piece, the neckline and the two sides. But the other side of the back one is for zipper alarm, just like this, so it does not need to turn out with a bias tape. So now for the front, this is what we have. Now we're going to pick up one of the back piece, the one going for this part. You have to place it together so that you don't mix them up while picking it. So this is what I did in order to know which one is suitable for the one I'm working with right now. So now we're just going to place it in between the lining just like this, making sure that the yoke and your main fabric, which is the ankara, is facing right side facing each other, and then your lining is also right side facing it. And now we're going to avoid the yoke by not stitching down the side. Just tuck it in like this, and then you're going to stitch from the armhole like this and the two sides, except the armhole. You won't stitch the armhole and the down part, which is the one we're going to join to the main bodice. So we're doing the same thing for the second part also. If you do it like this, you will not have a problem after stitching it. This is what you're going to have after stitching it down. So now we're going to turn it to the right side, and this is what we have. And now after turning it out, we're just going to iron it. So now to stitch the back dart, we're just going to place back our pattern on it. And remember we have our dart line on it. We're just going to mark that out, and then you know you sew it to the top. So I'm just going to make a notch on this and then go ahead to stitch it down by half of an inch and then stitch it. So this is what we have, and I went ahead to iron it after stitching it down. You can see from the wrong side. Now to the front side of this, we're just going to pick the main fabric, the center front, and then the sides front also. So you're just going to place the center front, the side front on the center front, and then stitch the down parts up to the up. You start your stitching from down to the top, and you do the same thing on the lining also. So I'm just making a mark on the lining because I'm working with a suit lining, and some of it has the shiny part and the dull part. So I use the shiny part from the front sides. So this is what we have after joining the sides and the center front together. You can see it's giving a bust shape already. So I'm just going to open the seam and iron it. And here for the bust point, you need like a bust arm. If you have a bust arm, you can iron with that, but this is what I have, and I work with this. And when ironing, you need to press it down with your presser to give you your perfect shape, because you need to press and iron your bustier well to give you what you actually want to give you a good result. So this is how it's going, and then you iron the lining also the same way you iron the main fabric. So this is what we have, and then I'm working with a back hub. You can see I didn't add any interfacing in my fabric because I don't have. You can as well just add a paper state to it, but at the point of making this video, it was in the midnight and I forgot to get a paper state that would be enough for it. So that was why I didn't add any at all to it. So you're just going to fold your bra cup into two and just use a chalk, a transparent chalk to mark the midpoint. The reason for this is that the midpoint is going to meet with the joining line. So now I'm just going to place my pattern paper on it to mark my under bust, because your bra cup is going to sit on your under bust like this. Just so I'm just marking the two sides, and I'm going to place my bra cup on the lining, which is on the wrong side of the lining where you stitch. You're going to place your bra cup just like this. You can see the bra cup is facing up. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but just the way I place my bra cup on it so that it can be accurate at the end of joining it to your main fabric. So for the yoke, you're just going to place it like this, not the midpoint, so that it will be easier for you to work with. And then you're just going to sew it and then place your lining and sew the two sides and the upper part. And this is what we have after joining it. You can see the way it came out, very nice. So now for the back parts, we are going to pick our two skirts and then On the waistline, I'm coming down by 7 inches for my zipper allowance. For my zipper opening, it's a gown and you're still going to join it up with the top. So now I'm just taking my zipper allowance, which is 2 inches on the back. I measure my opening at the back, I use 18 inches, and then from there I just stitch it up to the zipper allowance. So we're just going to keep this aside and then pick the front one. Then on this front one, I'm going to place the upper bodice on it and then stitch it down by half inch. And also the back piece also, I'm going to stitch it down by half of an inch. So this is what we have. And then after stitching the down piece, I'm just going to iron my zipper allowance to make it easier for me to fix my zipper. And I fixed the zipper here, you can see, because I always like for my waistline to be equal. So now I went ahead to iron this. So now I'm joining these two sides of the down part of the dress. I want to make sure it is accurate on the hem part. We already turn it out, so it has to be accurate. And on the waistline too, it has to be accurate. The two lines has to be meeting each other. If you follow all your measurements, your allowance that you add to everything, it will always come out very nice. So now I'm just going to take my bust measurement divided by 2 and then place it right here. I have 3 inches left after my bust measurement divided by 2. I'm just going to share that 3 inches in the two by the two sides, 1.5 on each. And then my waistline, I'm going to measure whatever I have there, and whatever is left, I'm going to divide it on the waistline as my allowance. And same thing on the hip line. And remember, when we were drafting, we remove 1 inch from our hip line for our hem line. So I'm just going to do the same thing. Whatever I have on this hip line, I'm going to deduct 1 inch and then place it on my hem line. And then you're just going to stitch down the both sides. This is what we have after stitching it down. And you can see the two sides are equal. Same thing on the zipper line, and then the down part is also equal. So now to draft our our sleeve, this is what we have. And then you're going to fold your, or if you have a single paper, you can just work with that. From the starting line, I'm taking my armhole measurement divided by 2 plus 1 inch allowance, and I'm just going to extend that line downwards. Now I'm coming down by 5 inch and then divide whatever I have on my armhole line by 2, and I'll come downwards on the midpoint by 3 inches and just draw my armhole just like this. Then from the top, I'm coming down by 4 inches and I'm just going to draw a straight line across like this. Then from this top line, I'm going to take my full sleeve measurement, which is 25 and 1 inch for allowance, which is to turn to hem the sleeve, I mean. So now where this the sleeve is going to stay on your shoulder. You're just going to measure it round. While you're wearing the clothes, you're going to measure it from the sleeve, from the front sleeve to the back sleeve. And for my own, I have 10, and I've just divided it by 2 and place it there, and also had allowance for sewing. And on my wrist, I divided my wrist by 2 and place it there, which is 4.5, and my sewing allowance. And this is what we have. So now I'm just going to come down a little to give me this more curves for my for the armhole, and we'll just cut this out. So now this is the simplest way to get an off shoulder sleeve. And I almost forget about the M line, because by the time you join it, it may not be accurate. You just come out slightly like this, so that after, when you are turning it, it will be it will give space for it to turn well, if you understand what I mean. So this is our off shoulder sleeve, and I was just going to cut this on a line on our fabric. This fabric is folded in four, which is I'm cutting the two sleeves together at once. If you have watched to this point and you are still yet to subscribe to this channel, please subscribe, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and also drop a comment if you have a video idea. So I've joined this to the main fabric, and after joining this, the ruffle in front of this, we're going to use a 5 inches length and a 60 inches long ruffles. So I cut this in two and I join it together. So now we're going to start pleating from the back. From this, you open your zip and you pleat from one side of the back round to the other side of the back, so that you don't pleat on your zipper line. So you pleat just like this. For me, I went up by 1 inch from this main bodice, and this is what we have. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next.